I thought that the two worst categories on TikTok were the random people jiggling around in not very much clothing and the creepy teachers grooming their kids with all sorts of weird sex stuff. There is actually a worse category, a more grating category. That would be the woke religion TikToks. This compilation of the very best woke religion TikToks is brought to you by Ring. More from Ring in a bit. First, though, my producers have given me the compilation. I have not seen them yet. I guess I'm gonna have my mind expanded, man. Take it away.
Gay Bible Stories for Pride Month. I'll be telling you a bunch of little snippets of different characters who were non-gender conforming in the Bible. First off, we have Jacob. God renamed Jacob as Israel, and all of his descendants became the nation of Israel. Kind of an important dude, but he didn't always act so doodly. Whereas Jacob's brother Esau was super hairy and liked to hunt and be outside and be a manly man, Jacob was super smooth and liked to hang out with his mom at home and help cook and clean in the tent.
Well, take a pause. Is the argument now, have we gone from a man trapped in a woman's body or, a hermaphrodite who is both, have we gone from that now to the basis of transgenderism is that some men don't play football?
What the hell kind of sissy are you?
We've gone from, hey, women are allowed to wear pants. Hey, women can go get a job or drink a beer, to, hey, if a woman wears pants, she's actually a man and needs to cut her breasts off. That's really how far we've gone here, is that we've completely undermined the idea that there is anything such as gender expression. We've actually gone back to the idea that there is only sex, and if you in any way act a little bit effeminate or a little bit masculine, then you've got to be the opposite sex. Keep going.
Next character is Joseph. Joseph is Jacob's son. Jacob gave Joseph a beautiful rainbow tunic. The Hebrew word in the Bible to say the tunic is the same word that describes the garb that virgin daughters of the king would wear. Joseph was the first drag queen.
Now, I'm going to take a pause there. Until what? Like the 14th century or later?
Help! Help! I'm being repressed, bloody peasant!
People just wore big kinds of dresses and gowns, right? Like when you think of Aristotle and Plato walking around ancient Greece, they weren't wearing blue jeans and an Oxford button-down shirt. Styles have changed, but there was much more of a kind of similarity between male and female dress because people would wear robes, right? People would wear togas.
Toga! Toga!
You're telling me that if you're not, wow, did you know that the garment, the word for coat, was actually the same word that's used for a woman's coat, for a man's coat, and a woman's coat? Like, first of all, we still use the same word today, but also, yes, it is true. Fashions had kind of some similarity there. So you're saying because Joseph had a colorful jacket, he's actually secretly a woman, and no biblical scholar had ever noticed that until this lady on TikTok.
Next up is Deborah. Before Israel had kings, they had judges. The only judge that was a woman was Deborah. She was also the leader of the military and kicked the Canaanites' ass. In a setting where women were treated like property and their value was based on how many kids they had, Deborah said, your gender standards.
Roll on, so I'm going to take a pause there too. Taking away even the discussion of Deborah. This is total retconning. This is totally a rewriting of history and the Bible. This idea that back then women had absolutely no value and they were just cast aside and treated as property. That's not true at all. What are you talking about? So the most important figures in the Bible, many of them are women. Eve is pretty important. Eve's not treated as property. Sarah is not treated as property. Rachel is not treated as property. Rahab. I mean, go all the way up to the Virgin Mary. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. One of the second most important human figure in the Bible, I would say, is a woman. The idea that they were treated as property, it's just not true. That's just a complete invention of modern radicals. Who want to pretend that we live in a much better world today than in the old-timey bad days. Because today you see women have the great respect and freedom to prostitute themselves on OnlyFans and make a wage living alone in a studio apartment in a city by working at the widget factory for Mr. McGillicuddy.
Coming to bed, honey?
Yes, dear.
Unlike back in those old awful days when women were valued as the matriarchs of their homes and the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world. Yeah, man, things have gotten so much better, right? I'm not so sure about that. Keep going.
Lastly, we got all of our eunuchs. What is a eunuch? Most people think it means a man who's been castrated. It can also just mean an effeminate man who's not interested in women. Jesus said that there's 3 kinds of eunuchs. Eunuchs by birth, eunuchs who were made so by others, and eunuchs who chose to be eunuchs. And you know what Jesus said about them? Love and accept them all. Gender is a construct and it's all affirmed in the good book itself.
She makes a kind of interesting point about eunuchs. First of all, I don't think love and accept them all appears, anywhere in the Bible. I think that was kind of a little revision that she added in there. But the discussion of eunuchs is very interesting because it's true. Eunuchs in themselves, eunuchs have always existed, and they do present in themselves a kind of complication for sex and gender expression. The reason we are failing to fight against transgenderism is because we've taken this really stupid scientistic approach, the same kind of soul-denying scientistic approach that the liberals use to get us into this mess in the first place, when we deny such a thing as gender expression. Of course there's gender expression.
You look like a girl.
Of course, getting to this woman's point, a man can act in an effeminate way. A woman can act in a masculine way. People who are castrati, people who are eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven, or people who are born hermaphrodites, or people, that's a very rare occurrence, but it has happened on occasion. And so what does that mean? Well, it raises a question for us. The current reductive, stupid way conservatives are talking about gender is they say, no such thing as gender expression, it's just X and Y chromosomes. Sure, that's a pretty good indicator. But no, there is a gender expression. The reason transgenderism is wrong is not that sex and gender expression are the same thing, or that gender expression doesn't exist. The reason transgenderism is wrong is because sex and gender expression are, in fact, distinct categories, and we have a duty to express our gender in a way that is in conformity with our sex. It's not that they're not different, it's just that we have an obligation to who we are, to the way that we were created. I remember when Matt went to Africa and talked to the Maasai people, and he asked them what is a woman, and the kind of giggly answer for most people today would be, well, a woman's someone with breasts, or a man's someone with a phallus.
We're going to be talking about the penis!
But the Maasai people didn't answer that way. The Maasai people actually said, a woman is someone who does the duty of a woman. I thought that is a much more precise and complicated answer than we're getting from the American conservatives. My schedule is very, very busy, especially we're heading into speech season. I'm talking all over the country, all over the world, actually. And I can rest easy because I love Ring Alarm. The protection afforded by Ring Alarm is phenomenal. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Ring, the video doorbell company, they have an alarm? Yes, they do. Ring Alarm is an award-winning home security system with available professional monitoring when you subscribe. Best of all, you can easily install it yourself. Even I can do it. I'm not the handiest guy in the world. But Ring didn't even stop there. Ring has changed the home security game with Ring Alarm Pro, which is why I have decided to team up with Ring when it comes to protecting my home. I've gone pro. You got to be a pro just like me, okay? Ring Alarm Pro is that whole home security system. It's got available professional monitoring when you subscribe. It combines a security system with fast Eero Wi-Fi 6 router, home security, network security, your physical home, your digital home, you protect it all with one device. With a Ring Protect Pro subscription, which is an amazing deal, by the way, I get professional monitoring whenever I want it for the ultimate peace of mind. If anything happens, professional monitoring can call you. You can request emergency services. This season, whether you're traveling across the country for speeches, whether you're at your home, whether you're at the office, make sure you are protected with Ring, okay? Go pro. Learn more at ring.com/Michael, ring.com/Michael. All right, next video.
To all the people who say they have to live by the Bible exactly and use it to excuse oppressive and ignorant thinking and behavior, such as there only being 2 genders because the Bible didn't mention more than 2 genders. The Bible didn't mention electricity either, Brenda. If you want to live your life entirely based on what the Bible mentions, go get a clay hut in the middle of the fucking forest and never speak to us ever again.
Okay, so the good point that she makes is that not every metaphysical truth is articulated by name in the Bible. So the Trinity, the idea that there's God the Father, God the Son, and the Holy Spirit, who is the bond of love between the Father and the Son. The Trinity is not explicitly named in the Bible. The Trinity appears in the Bible, and you can go through the text from Genesis all the way up until the end of the Bible to see the evidence of the Trinity. But it is inferred. It is not just named out. Okay, absolutely true. There are plenty of other things in the Bible that are not explicitly named. The problem for her argument, though, is that the fact that there are only 2 sexes is actually stated in the Bible affirmatively. It's not just that the third sex is omitted. In the beginning, God created man, both male and female created he them. And then this is reaffirmed later on by Jesus in the New Testament when he describes what marriage is. And he says, a man and a woman come together. For this reason, a man leaves his family and joins together with his wife and becomes one flesh. And what God has joined, let no man separate. So her argument about electricity is a good argument and that can apply to a lot of other biblical concepts. But in this case, the Bible is very, very clear. Male and female created he them. All right, of those two, that's really easy. The second gal did not make a very good argument, but I actually found her kind of charming and endearing. I was a teenager once. I made dumb arguments at one point, and she started to almost make a good point, and then kind of just her own ignorance of the text, I think, got her off track. Whereas that first lady, I mean, she was just completely not only insane, but putting things into the Bible that just are not there and just reading her own delusions into the text. So I would have to say she is my least favorite. Please send me your least favorite woke religion TikToks, and we will get to them next time.